Hello, welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Fidelia Aguncha. President Muhammadu Buhari on Friday reiterated his administration's commitment to make Nigeria more attractive to investors and enhance the ease of doing business in the country. Buhari made the pledge in a statement at the 9th summit of the D8 Organization for Economic Cooperation at Istanbul, Turkey. Speaking to other world leaders at the summit, the president said Nigeria is committed to and is actively pursuing a policy of trade and investment facilitation for growth. The Developing Eight, also known as D8, is an organization for development cooperation among 8 countries, including Bangladesh, Indonesia, Egypt, Iran, Malaysia, Pakistan, Nigeria, and Turkey. The objectives of the organization are to improve member states' position in the global economy as well as diversify and create new opportunities in trade relations, among others. The Nigerian government is proposing a record 8.6 trillion naira budget for the 2018 fiscal year. This is according to the 2018 to 2020 medium-term expenditure framework. The document prepared by the Budget Ministry must be approved by the Senate before a budget is submitted. Nigeria has increased its budget each year under President Muhammadu Buhari, who took office in May 2015, in a bid to spend its way out of a downturn caused by low oil prices, but struggles to fund it completely or increase revenues. The government has increased spending on infrastructure in the last few years in an attempt to diversify its oil-dependent economy. A report by the United Nations says nearly 10% of newborn deaths in the world last year occurred in Nigeria. According to the report, 5 countries accounted for half of all newborn deaths last year, with Nigeria third on the list. These are India with 24%, Pakistan with 10%, Nigeria with 9%, the Democratic Republic of Congo with 4%, and Ethiopia with 3%. The Nigerian Minister of Health, Isaac Adewale, had earlier this year described the high mortality rate of under 5 in the country as unacceptable. He said the government has, however, made significant progress in reducing the rate of newborn death in the country, as it has declined from 201 against 1,000 live births to 128 against 1,000 live births. At least 11 children have been confirmed dead after a deadly whooping cough outbreak hit Kiru local government area in Kano State, northwest Nigeria. According to the information officer of the local government, Rabiu Khalil, 40 other children are also receiving medical attention for the illness. Whooping cough, which is caused by a species of bacteria, mostly affects infants who are at highest risk of complications and death. The earlier signs are similar to a common cold, then develop into a cough and can even result in pneumonia. Babies may turn blue while coughing due to a lack of oxygen. Adults can also be infected, but the infection often goes unrecognized. Looking at more stories now, a man identified as Oluseyi Adekunle on Friday jumped off the Lekki-Ikoyi bridge into the Lagos lagoon in an apparent suicide bid. Adekunle, who appeared to be on his way to work, dropped his bag at the rails before taking the plunge into the water. The incident, which has been confirmed by the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, happened before noon on Friday. Though the body of the man is yet to be recovered, his identity was, however, revealed after authorities searched his bag found at the scene. Details of what prompted the man to jump into the lagoon still remain sketchy. The incident comes 6 months after Allwell Oji, a medical doctor, jumped into the lagoon from the Adekunle axis of the 3rd mainland bridge. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has sworn in Justice Okpeyemi Uke as the new Chief Justice of the state. Her swearing in as the substantive Chief Justice followed recommendation of the National Judicial Council and confirmation by the Lagos State House of Assembly. Speaking at Lagos House in Ikeja while performing the swearing-in ceremony, Governor Ambode called for more reforms aimed at fast-tracking justice delivery without necessarily compromising the fundamental principle of fair hearing and the rule of law. He also pledged to establish a designated commercial courthouse with the overall objective of ensuring speedy resolution of disputes and enhance the ease of doing business in the state. A divisional police officer who was kidnapped in Niger State earlier this week has been rescued, the force headquarters has confirmed. Aliyu Amos, a superintendent of police and DPO of Sarki Power Divisional Headquarters in Niger State, was rescued by police special forces. The spokesperson also said some suspected kidnappers were apprehended during the rescue operation and they will be arraigned upon completion of preliminary investigation. The DPO's rescue came a day after the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, decried the repeated abduction of police officers in the country. The staff of the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA has agreed to suspend its day-old nationwide strike action. The agency had embarked on a strike action on Thursday following disagreement with its Director General, Mustafa Majaja. The workers were demanding better condition of service from the new Director General. However, the Ministry of Labour and Employment has intervened in the dispute. The Minister, Chris Ngige, on Thursday held a meeting with the NEMA management led by Director General and representatives of the national body of the Labour Union to resolve the issue. A non-governmental organization, Women Arise, has honored newly conferred Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Festus Keyamo. Keyamo was honored for the pro bono cases his chambers has handled for the group. The award was presented by the Director General of the group, Joe Odumaki.
Festus Keyamo, SAN, is one of us, tested, trusted, a person that one can go to the battle with one's eyes closed. He has that track record. And like all of us, while he was a lawyer and a leader of the National Conscience Party with Chief Gani Fahimi, we were all together, even right from until Ken Saruwa was hanged. And few times we have been incarcerated together. And one thing is that he remains committed. And Gani Fahimi once referred to him as the generalissimo of our struggle, because anything, any assignment that he wants to give out, he will always call on Festus Keyamo, SAN. Women Arise and all other organizations is standing still, although we are sitting down now, for one of us. In terms of the defense of human rights, he has handled several pro bono cases for us. And up to this moment, he's still handling some.
In his response, the recipient Keyamo thanked the group and praised them for their activities.
Law is about the attainment and the search for justice. And so if you are searching for justice, you cannot be supporting injustice. And I also said, like I said earlier, that on the day of my elevation, I made a vow to God and to men that I will not use my elevation to assist those who are already powerful and who are oppressing the weak, except, of course, they're on the right path. If they're on the right path, no problem. But it's unjust. It is the greatest injustice for you to now use to give a powerful weapon to somebody who's already powerful, to use to fight somebody who is weak and defenseless. And that I will never do.
The CEO of Jumia Foods and Travel, Joe Falter, has been promoting his company's plan for this year's Black Friday sale. The online store is planning something different this year, with a month-long sale beginning from November 13th to December 13th. In a chat with TV360, Falter tells customers what to expect.
Shoppers should be looking forward to the biggest shopping event of the year. We've been working super hard over the last few months to put together some incredible deals across all of the products that we sell. So anyone who's been waiting to buy that phone that they want, or their next TV, or appliances for the house, is in for really huge discounts that we have coming up across many brands. We're not just doing in e-commerce, so we also have deals on Jumia Travel. We have deals coming up on Jumia Food. So if people want, to book their break over the next couple of months to go on vacation to anywhere in Africa or abroad in Dubai, London, we've got great deals on packages for them. And for Jumia food as well. If you want to order food, we'll have discounts coming up on some of the biggest and most popular restaurant brands in Nigeria.
Forta also announced flight bookings have now been added to the wide range of options on the Jumia platform.
Now is a particularly interesting time for Jumia Travel because we're launching we have launched a flight service. So a lot of our customers are familiar with booking hotels on Jumia Travel, but we're now able to offer a huge range of flights at some of the best prices that you can find on the market. So one of the big focus areas for us now is to evangelize and get the message out about people being able to travel not just the hotel with us, but also the flight, and that we can get the best prices for them on the market. Certainly much better prices than they would typically find at a travel agent.
The ruling All Progressives Party has defended President Muhammadu Buhari's decision to focus on the development of the Northeast, saying it is not a misplaced priority. The National Publicity Secretary of the party, Bolaji Abdullahi, said the party is on the same wavelength with the president, considering the humanitarian crisis that has ravaged the Northeast due to the activities of the Boko Haram terrorists. He also noted the president's request was not intended to divide the country or show preference for one region against the other.
The import of Mr. President's statement to the World Bank is in recognition of the particular devastation that Boko Haram has caused in the northeast of Nigeria. Therefore, when Mr. President was asking the World Bank to focus attention on the development of the Northeast, he has in mind the necessary reconstruction that need to happen in that part of the country, especially in the Borno, Adamawa and Yobe axis that have suffered specifically or particularly as a result of the Boko Haram activities. It was not a statement at all intended to bifurcate the country and show preference for one region of the country against the other. So the All Progressives Congress throws its weight completely behind Mr. President's position, and we believe that as long as the northeast of Nigeria remains continue to suffer the devastation that it has suffered and continue to represent a very dark spot in human development indices for Nigeria, there is a need to direct special attention to that part of the country.
The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmoud Yakubu, says the commission is taking all necessary steps towards implementing recommendations from the European Union 2015 Elections Observation Report. Yakubu gave the assurance on Thursday when the lead member of the EU Parliament Democracy Support and Election Coordination Group, Santiago Fisas, led a delegation to the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. He said INEC has studied the 2015 General Elections Observation Reports of the EU carefully and noted 30 of the recommendations from the reports.
We have carefully studied the EU report. A total of 30 recommendations were identified. Some of the recommendations are of a policy nature within the powers and responsibilities of the Electoral Commission. However, election being a legal process, most of the recommendations require review of the legal framework for elections, the Electoral Act and the Constitution. We have summarized and categorized the 2015 EU Observation Report. In all, as I said earlier, there are 30 recommendations. 8 of these recommendations are within the powers and primary responsibilities of INEC, while 22 are within the powers and responsibilities of other agencies of government or other arms of government, especially the National Assembly.
Happy to be here, all friends of Nigeria, and just I would like to remark that our technical colleagues, they will stay here until November. Then it's not a short mission. They will be here trying to know better the Nigerian situation. And of course, we know that you are dealing with a lot of different elections, different ones, some very, very important, and waiting, of course, the presidential election in 2 years' time.
My people, for Obodo, Nigeria, one infection don't surface in some part of this country, where them they call monkeypox. This infection now from bushmeat, especially monkey, rat, and squirrel. Now the fluid from this animal, they cause some more. As we get this infection, we get fever, headache, back pain, rashes for all in body like chicken pox, but no be chicken pox, now monkeypox. The only way to stop this obonge yamayama infection, now to stop eating bushmeat. Have been any bushmeat we don't die, especially monkey, rat, and squirrel. Make we try to wash our hand with soap and water before eating any food. Sanitize are good if we get some to the watch and regularly. Make all of our health workers, they use protective instruments, medicine, we fit cure this obonge infection. Never day, but we fit avoid them. The Federal Ministry of Health and the National Center for Disease Control don't put head together to fight this monkeypox all over states. Make we now open eye so that monkeypox no go spread. If you suspect any symptoms of monkeypox, make you quickly rush go any health facility way near you. Our guy President Mohammed Buhari want everybody make we dey kampe so that we go jolly in good government. Health na weto monkeypox. Now we fit chase am come on. Now Federal Ministry of Health bring una this message.
Welcome back. It's time for business with Ngozi Okoye.
Thank you, Fidelia. The Nigeria government says its external borrowing plan, for which is seeking approval of the National Assembly, will take Nigeria between 5 and 30 years to repay. President Muhammadu Buhari had written to both chambers of the National Assembly seeking approval for $5.5 billion external loans to finance the 2017 Appropriation Act. The government also insisted it will have a borrow more to complete a number of ongoing infrastructural projects. The loan request has been commended by the Debt Management Office. Nigeria has reviewed down its forecast for 2017 economic growth to 1.5% from 2.19%. This is according to the 2018-2020 medium-term expenditure framework. The report said oil production, on which Nigeria relies for about two-thirds of government revenues, was at 1.9 million barrels per day for 2017 as of July, against an estimated 2.2 million barrels per day. Oil prices fell on Friday due to tension in the Middle East that has slashed supplies of crude. Brent crude was down 15 cents at $57.08 a barrel, while U.S. light crude was 30% lower at $50.99. Part of this drawdown has been due to rising exports as a result of the extreme discount of U.S. crude to Brent, which makes it attractive for American producers to export their oil. Despite the losses on Friday, analysts said the market was on a path towards rebalancing. It was yet another highly volatile trading session on the Nigeria Stock Exchange on Friday. The market started on a positive note and ended the benchmark all-share index in a low, down by 58.34 basis points. At the close of Thursday trading, market capitalization similarly dropped over 20 billion to close at 12.593 trillion as against 12.614 trillion of the previous session. The share prices of international burials, Cement Company of Northern Nigeria, Cotex PLC and UBA saw an upturn, closing in greens. Meanwhile, Nigeria Burials, Fort Oil, UACM PLC and Ecobank Transnational Incorporated lost the day. The top traders chart had Zenith Bank, Transnational Corporation of Nigeria, First Bank of Nigeria Holdings and Sky Bank. Market activities for the day in terms of deals and volume fell by over 15% and 30% to close at 3,192 and 106.546 respectively. Contrary, the traded value increased to 1.883 billion as against 1.722 billion of the previous trading session. And that's it on business news. We'll take a short break now. When we return, it's foreign and sports stories. Stay with us.
The search for the 2017 WSCIJ Investigative Journalist of the Year is on. Are you a Nigerian journalist or a team of journalists with investigative stories on themes from regulatory failures, corruption in the public or corporate sphere, and human rights abuses in the country? The Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism invites you to submit entries for the 12th Wole Soyinka Award for Investigative Reporting. Categories include prints, radio, television, photo, online, and editorial cartoon. Submission deadline Tuesday, 24th October 2017 by 4 p.m. Winners will receive prizes in cash and kind worth 1 million naira. For the full award criteria and other information, please visit wscij.org. or call 0908-251-5179. Investigative reporting is the vital force for the restoration of human dignity. Wole Soyinka.
Glad to have you back. A suicide bomber has killed at least 30 people inside a Shia mosque in the Afghan capital, Kabul. The attacker is reported to have opened fire as worshippers gathered for Friday prayers before detonating the bomb. No group has so far claimed responsibility for the attack, but so-called Islamic State insurgent has targeted Shia mosques across Afghanistan. A spokesman for the Afghan Interior Ministry said investigators were working at the scene to determine the nature of the explosion. Police in Malawi say they have arrested 140 suspected members of vigilante mobs that have targeted people accused of vampirism. The lynch mob attacks began in mid-September in 4 districts in southern Malawi, where belief in witchcraft is widespread. This week, they spread to Blantyre, the country's second biggest city, where mobs touched one person and stoned another to death on Wednesday. Super Falcons striker Francisca Ordega has signed for Spanish League champions Atletico Madrid women. The club made the announcement on its website saying Francisca will wear its jersey until next March, when she will start a new edition of the American competition. Francisca signed a contract that binds her to the club after completing the relevant medical examination. FIFA's disgraced ex-president Sepp Blatter has said he will go to the next year's World Cup in Russia at the invitation of President Vladimir Putin, despite being banned from football. Blatter said Michel Platini, the ex-UEFA president, who is banned from football over corruption, had also been invited to the tournament by Putin. The Swiss, who led World Football governing body for 17 years, was thrown out of the sport in 2015 at the height of a massive corruption scandal. FIFA's Ethics Committee suspended him from all football-related activities for 6 years after finding him guilty of accepting an improper 2 million Swiss francs payment from then UEFA President Platini. Multiple Olympic champion Usain Bolt has tipped Cristiano Ronaldo for the 2017 The Best FIFA Men Award. The Portuguese was shortlisted alongside arch-rival Lionel Messi and Paris Saint-Germain striker Neymar Jr. The trio were selected from an initial shortlist of 30 after vote from national team coaches, captains, selected media, and the fans. The award ceremony is scheduled for Monday, October 23rd, 2017. Well, that's all on news now. Thanks for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha.